More and more pundits are recognizing that Joe Biden's impeachment is inevitable. And this includes, if you can believe it, more and more leftists. They're indeed admitting that Biden's impeachment is as sure as night follows day. In this video, we're going to take a look at some of the more prominent voices on the left panicking about the prospects of a Biden impeachment. We're going to look at the latest poll plunge that shows Biden losing even Democrat voters. And stick with me to the very end of this video when I reveal what they're really panicked over. And let's just say that it has a little something to do with 2022. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Stevie with you. Great to be with you. As always, I am your daily fake news antidote. As each and every day, I provide patriotic analysis to help you to think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. So make sure to smack that bell and subscribe. Before we begin, let's give a huge shout out to the sponsor of this video, and that is Prepper's Peak, new solar water heater. With all the lockdowns we just witnessed over the last year, this solar water heater can turn out to be our very best friend. The solar water heater is an amazing device because it allows you to heat and boil water outdoors using simply sunlight. It can heat water in as little as 30 minutes and it'll work anywhere the sun shines. You could use it to boil water, to cook noodles and rice. You could use it to sterilize water for drinking. Perfect for you campers. And the best part is that if you click on the link below right now, you're actually going to get an additional 15% off their already reduced price. So don't wait. This is a limited time offer. Click on that link below before they sell out and get your own Patriot Sun cooker today. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. We've got a fascinating development going on in the mainstream media, particularly among the left-wing activists disguised as journalists. They are recognizing, they are more and more openly admitting amongst themselves that it's virtually certain that Sleepy Joe Biden, the ravager of Afghanistan, the clown of Kabul, is indeed going to be impeached. This is really a very intriguing window into how deflated and how defeated the left feels right now with Biden's seemingly endless blunders for all the world to see. Check out what this writer for the Radical Left Salon is writing about just today. Quote, 8 months after January 6th, the Trump movement's coup against democracy continues. Democrats have been unable to marshal an adequate defense and are at dire risk of being routed without even putting up a fight, which leads to one more warning and prediction. The Trump-controlled Republican Party will, in all likelihood, impeach President Joe Biden if they win control of the House of Representatives in the 2022 midterm elections. They will not be able to convict Biden in the Senate and remove him from office, just as Democrats were unable to convict Trump. But that's largely besides the point. Again, I need to stress to you guys, this is how leftists are talking to one another, right? We're listening in on how leftists talk to other leftists here. And this is what they're saying to each other. It goes on, quote, Donald Trump will either be the 2024 Republican presidential nominee or play the role of kingmaker. Impeaching Joe Biden will be a way of further weakening the Democratic Party by forcing it to fight on multiple fronts, making it easier prey for Republicans and the larger neo-fascist movement. Moreover, a Biden impeachment will excite Donald Trump's worst impulses and those of his followers, who will likely engage in more acts of political violence against their perceived enemies. In the end, the events of January 6th may merely have been a preview for what lies ahead. To this point, the Democratic Party and its leaders have not shown the necessary heart or spirit or urgency to defeat the Jim Crow Republicans and the neo-fascist insurgency. Unless that trend changes, the Democrats and the American people as a whole will lose everything. Gang, they're panicked. The left is absolutely panicked that Trump and the Republicans are poised to crush them for the foreseeable future. Take a look at this piece from The Hill. Impeaching Biden is only one battlefield in Republicans' total electoral war. And here's some of it. Quote, while Democrats debate the fine points of how to engineer social change through legislation. Yeah, like Biden's unprecedented number of executive orders and vax mandates. Yeah, that kind of deliberate legislation. What an absolute clown this guy is. All right, sorry, back to it here. While Democrats debate the fine points of how to engineer social change through legislation, Republicans have been waging a total electoral war to retake power. They just opened a new front, the impeachment of President Biden. Now, A remarkably broad range of Republicans, from extreme right-wing Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene to the party's authoritative foreign policy figure, Senator Lindsey Graham, they're all turning the Constitution's impeachment clause into a negative branding howitzer aimed at the White House. I wonder who they learned that from.
Good morning. Sunday morning.
Fighting a total war may be liberating for Republicans, especially when their only value is victory. If they retake the House of Representatives, distractions like constitutional impeachment standards and American history will be easily ignored in favor of appeasing the MAGA base by impeaching Biden. Having set their base in motion with impeach Joe Biden demands, Republicans may have created an unstoppable dynamic. Republican congressional offices are already besieged with demands for a Biden impeachment. By next spring, Republicans in primary fights may be booed off campaign stages unless they pledge to impeach Biden in the House if the House changes hands. More and more, especially with Joe Biden's plummeting approval ratings, Democrats seem to be back on their heels. Part of their problem is that they do not play by total war rules. Yeah, this guy's such a clown. But they probably wouldn't be very good at it if they tried. The Republicans' ruthless intensity can be a force multiplier, and Democrats have yet to find their own intensity to match. Are you hearing a theme here? Republicans are going to impeach Biden precisely because the Democrats are too weak and feeble to stop it. That's the left, gang. The leftists are talking this way. And frankly, I don't think they're wrong for the most part. Biden and the Democrats are unbelievably politically frail at the moment. Biden is literally hemorrhaging support among his base. The latest YouGov poll has him at 39% approval. That's a disaster of epic proportion. Again, we're entering into the 8th month of his presidency. He's already collapsed under 40% approval. He's lost independents. Independents have abandoned him in droves, and now he's starting to lose Democrats. He's even losing, if you can believe it, he's even losing never-Trumpers like Brett Stevens over at the New York Times, who openly supported and voted for Biden. My, oh my, he's even losing the never-Trumpers. But then again, they're not particularly known for their loyalty now, are they? In addition, 52% of Americans believe Biden should resign over the Afghanistan disgrace. So Biden is cratering in the polls, and he's dragging the Democrats down with him. So obviously, Republicans are smelling blood in the water. And so the calls for impeachment are only growing as we speak. Of course, Senator Lindsey Graham has reiterated his call for Biden to be impeached over this whole Afghanistan fiasco. All Senators Hawley and Blackburn are ramping up their demands that Biden resign from office or face impeachment. Of course, Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's already filed 3 articles of impeachment against Sleepy Joe. So there's no question where the momentum is here. And that momentum is even more of a nightmare as the left realizes more and more that the Republicans are poised to crush the Democrats in the midterms. Even the leftists of the New York Times are largely resigning themselves to the seemingly inevitable defeat here. The red wave is going to be brutal, and it's going to put the Republicans in power. And they are most likely going to do the will of the majority of the Americans and vote to impeach Biden in the House. Now, again, obviously, don't hold your breath with a Senate conviction. There's little chance that the 2/3 majority needed, that's 67 senators, has a chance. But as even leftists are admitting, as you heard yourself, that's little matter here. The Biden presidency is imploding. He's taking Democrats down with him, which promises to crush them in the midterms, and all as one very big shadow of one very big man stands over 2024. Now, before you go, you will definitely want to check out my latest video I just uploaded on another panic point for the far left. They're now going hysterical over the notion that America is turning into a Christian theocracy right before their very eyes. You are not going to want to miss this. So make sure to click on the link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.